Some stories begin with heroes, others with heartbreak, but the most powerful ones, they start quietly, with a small act of kindness and a heart that refuses to walk away. The first snowflakes danced over the rooftops of Mühlfeld, a small village nestled between hills and pine trees. The cold air smelled of firewood and something unspoken, a secret waiting to come out. In the center of the village stood Café Himmelreich, a cozy place where every guest was known by name. Here time moves slower, like it remembers how to breathe. Jana Köhler wiped the counter with steady hands. Her eyes kept drifting to the window. Her palms were rough from work, but her gaze was gentle and tired. She carried the world on her back, yet still made others smile. Since her sister died, she had raised her young niece alone, a little girl with too many questions and not enough answers. But today felt different. Two black cars rolled into the village. Their windows were dark, so dark you couldn't tell who sat inside. The villagers exchanged whispers. Strangers were rare here, and never simple. When the doors opened, two little girls stepped out. Quiet, well-dressed, navy blue coats, shiny shoes. They looked like they had come from another world. But Jana saw it in their eyes immediately: loneliness. No one knew who Emma and Kara were, or why they had come. The man with them, a serious lawyer, barely spoke. He asked the girls to sit quietly in the cafe while he made a phone call. No tea, no cake, no small talk. The girls stared at empty plates. They didn't say a word. They didn't take a bite. Something stirred inside Jana. It wasn't a pity, it was recognition. She remembered her niece's face the day her parents died. That same quiet scream behind the eyes. Jana went to the back kitchen. She made the soup her grandmother once made for hard days. Carrots, celery, a little chicken, a touch of marjoram. Without saying anything, she placed a warm bowl in front of each girl. "This used to help me, if you're hungry," she whispered. She didn't expect a response, but she got more than words. Emma reached for a spoon, then Kara. A small nod, a shy, trembling smile. Jana stayed there a little longer. As the steam rose from the bowls, something quiet and beautiful happened, like healing. After that day, the twins came back every afternoon. No guardian, just a silent car waiting outside. They always sat at the same table, never asked for anything, only left with a small thank you and a little more light in their eyes. But the village wasn't as kind. "Rich kids get bored in their golden houses," said one old woman. "They've got more money than we've seen in a lifetime." Jana heard it all, but she stayed silent, because she knew pain doesn't care if it's wrapped in gold or dust. It still hurts the same. One evening, when Emma had already left, Kara stayed behind. She spoke softly, barely louder than a breath. "You're not like the others," she said. "You don't look at us like we don't belong." Jana smiled gently. "I see you," she said. That was all. She had no idea those 3 words would change everything. 2 days later, a man walked into the cafe. Tall, impeccable suit, cold eyes. "You're Jana Köhler?" he asked. She nodded, holding a tray that suddenly felt too heavy. "My name is Georg Hartstein," he said. "You may not know me, but my daughters, Emma and Kara, can't stop talking about you." He asked to speak in private. Jana followed him, heart pounding. Was this a warning? A thank you? Something else? But what he said caught her off guard. "You've done what no teacher or therapist could," he told her. "You made them smile." Then he paused. "I'd like you to come with us to Munich, just for a few days. I need to understand what you're doing." Jana wanted to say no. Her life was here, with her niece, her cafe, her quiet routines. But she thought of the girls, of how their eyes had changed. Maybe this wasn't just an offer. Maybe it was a calling. When she stepped off the train, Munich felt like another planet. Big, fast, and heartless. A driver held a sign with her name, but his voice was flat and his eyes were empty. She missed the warmth of baked bread, the creaking floors of Café Himmelreich. The Hartstein villa was a cold beauty. Marble floors, glass ceilings, portraits of ancestors that were watched but never protected. Then Emma and Kara came down the stairs, barefoot, glowing. "You came," said Emma. Jana's heart softened. Mr. Hartstein stood in the corner watching. His face was unreadable. Jealousy? Doubt? Hope? "You'll stay in the West Wing," he said. "The girls will spend time with you this afternoon. Then, we'll talk." Jana nodded, still unsure what this man really wanted. Why couldn't he talk to his own daughters? Why was someone so powerful, so powerless with love? In the garden, among lavender and a fountain, the girls laid out a puzzle. 1,000 pieces, a picture of a lake. We do this when we don't want to talk, Kara whispered. Puzzles help us think. Jana didn't say a word. She just helped them find the corners, match the colors. Little by little, the picture grew clearer, just like their bond. Later, they played hide and seek, laughed, rolled in the grass. For a moment, life was real again. Not expensive, just safe. That night, Hartstein called her in. I've seen your impact, he said, but it's not enough. I need to understand what you do. Jana looked at him gently. I don't do anything, she said. I just stay. I'm there. That night, sleep didn't come easy. She walked through the silent halls of the mansion. It felt like a museum of old grief. In a corner, she found a photo. Hartstein with a bright-eyed woman, laughing. She had the twins' eyes, their mother. Someone had tried to remove the photo, but couldn't. Then, footsteps. It was Hartstein. When he saw the picture in her hand, he froze. She was everything, he said. Then one day, she was just gone. His voice cracked. The mask fell. I tried to fill the gap with tutors, nannies, and gifts, but not with love. Jana said nothing. Sometimes silence is the only truth we need. Then came his whisper. Tell me, is it too late? Jana didn't answer. Because maybe, just maybe, some stories begin where others end. This is Mr. Lutz, he said. He advises me on my foundation work. I'm starting a project to help kids like Jana and my daughters. Kids who don't have a voice or a place. Jana looked confused. And what do you expect me to do with this? Hartstein breathed in slowly. I want you to take the lead, not because you're a teacher, but because you saw what we never did. Jana couldn't speak. The offer felt huge, too big. Her life had always been small. Her cafe, her niece, the smell of bread rising in the oven. And now, this, a project in Munich, with him? Think about it, Hartstein said gently. I truly believe my daughters would have given up if you hadn't shown them that closeness is still possible, even when you don't own someone. Jana didn't know what shocked her more, his offer or his honesty. That weekend, she returned to Mühlfeld to be with her niece. The trees whispered in the wind, church bells rang softly, neighbors chatted outside like always. But inside her, everything was shifting. It felt like the start of a life she never asked for, but couldn't ignore. Her niece, Marie, saw it right away. You look like someone hiding a secret, she laughed. Jana tried to explain, the offer, the girls, the fear, but the words didn't come easily. You've always been strong, Marie said. You just forget sometimes. That evening, Jana sat at the kitchen table with an old notebook. She didn't make a list. She wrote feelings. Words like fear, hope, dignity, opportunity, and I want to help, but not lose myself. The next morning, she stood at the window. Snow was falling softly across the village, and she knew if she stayed still, life would stay the same. But maybe it was time for change. Back in Munich, she faced Hartstein. I'll do it, she said quietly, but on my terms. He blinked, surprised. Let's hear them. I want to be involved, but not as the face on a brochure. This can't be a charity for show. She paused. And I need time, for my niece. I won't live here, but I'll work on the project. I have roots. I need to stay connected to them. The room was silent. Hartstein looked at her for a long time, then stood and held out his hand. You're the first person who didn't just say what I wanted to hear, he said. And that's why I want you. Within days, the project took shape. They called it Wurzeln, Roots, a nonprofit to offer love, safety, and everyday support for children with nowhere else to turn. Roots give you strength before you learn to fly, Jana wrote. When Clara and Emma heard the name, they lit up. You're helping kids like us, Clara said. You're brave. Jana smiled. No, I just had 2 little girls who were great teachers. Then came a twist. Jana met with a woman named Mrs. Elfriede, who used to work for Hartstein. At a quiet cafe, she handed Jana an envelope. Your father, Wasn't all good, she said. There were things hidden, investments that looked like help but were mostly for image. Inside were letters, contracts, proof. Jana felt shaken. Should she stay silent? Speak out? Was this her fight now? That night, she confronted Hartstein. His face went pale, then defensive. It was a long time ago, he said. I wanted to help, but I wasn't ready to see everything. Jana stared at him. No more excuses, she said calmly. Wurzeln will be honest, or I walk. The words hit like stones. Hartstein lowered his head. Then let's do it right, he whispered, together. Wurzeln opened in a restored farmhouse just outside town. No security cameras, no uniforms, just warmth. A garden, apple trees, books and pillows, big windows and soft colors. Children came, shy at first, then curious. Jana greeted everyone by name. Emma and Clara helped too, reading stories, telling their own. And somehow, in helping others, they were healing too. From a quiet distance, Hartstein watched. And for the first time in years, he cried. His daughters were laughing again. Marie came to visit. She bonded with Kara right away. The city and village, past and future, suddenly felt close. Jana was the bridge. And she realized this wasn't just a project. This was a home. For hearts, for healing, for starters. One morning, while kids played outside in the snow, Jana stood in the courtyard. Her hands were cold, but her heart felt full. She wasn't just an advisor. For many, she was home. Hartstein walked beside her, wearing his usual expensive coat. I used to think you could buy anything, he said. But trust has to be earned. Jana just nodded. No words were needed. Word spread about the project. Jana wasn't like the others. She listened, she laughed, she remembered names. Parents started coming too, carefully at first, then fully. A real community began to grow, strong, deep, quiet. And even though the snow kept falling, Jana knew she didn't want to change her life. Maybe life had chosen her. One morning, she found a letter tucked inside her coat. No name, no address, just a single, fragile piece of paper. Thank you. I couldn't protect my children, but maybe you can protect others. The handwriting was shaky but familiar. Hartstein didn't say a word, but his eyes hinted it was from the twins' mother. The letter had waited, like a silent prayer, finally heard. Jana placed it in an old tin box with drawings, letters, and scribbled thank yous from the kids. Not awards, but something even better. Proof of life. Will you always stay with us? Clara asked that evening. Jana leaned down. As long as you need me, she said, and maybe even after that. And then, a quiet hug, stronger than any promise. 6 months later, Jana returned to Mühlfeld, but she wasn't alone. Emma and Clara came too, curious, shy, full of joy. Marie was already waiting. The café was decorated for Christmas. Old baker Rosie hugged Jana tight. I always knew you were meant for more, she said. I'm just glad you remembered. Jana smiled. Some places are like roots. No matter where you grow, you never lose them. The kids painted Easter eggs. Village kids and city kids laughed together. There were no walls between them. That night, they sat by the old riverbank, where Jana had once cried alone. Now, 3 children sat beside her, and none of them felt alone. 2 years later, Jana stood on a stage in Berlin. The foundation had grown to 5 cities. She still wore her old shoes. We started small, she said into the mic, but our hearts were big enough to hold many. Emma and Clara sat in the crowd, each leading projects of their own. Georg was there too, no longer the powerful man, just a father who'd learned to love. And Marie held Jana's hand, proud and smiling. After the event, a child handed Jana a page with painted words. You are our root. Jana didn't cry. She just took a deep breath and felt at home. Because sometimes the best stories don't begin with applause. Sometimes they begin with soup and an ordinary woman who chose to show up and quietly change the world. Some people build empires with money. She built a home with presence, no spotlight, no applause, just soup and the strength to stay. She didn't come to rescue anyone. She came to sit beside them until they remembered their worth. And in doing so, she changed everything. Snow falls, children laugh, Jana smiles. The world moves quietly. For the forgotten children, for the silent mothers, for the ones who show up quietly and love loudly. If this story touched your heart, do leave a comment. We read every word. And if you believe in quiet kindness and real change, subscribe, not just to our channel, but to more stories that heal.